Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in this one I want to talk about Kluh, who is a hulked out version of Hulk himself. So not too long ago I did a video about 30 plus Hulks. Well, at first I was just going to do 25, but it ended up going over 30. But in the comments there was like an overwhelming number of people talking about Kluh, what about Kluh, you miss Kluh. And it wasn't like he wasn't list worthy or anything like that. But it was just me jumping from the idea from doing a part 2 to doing a whole separate video more focused on the character. Because there's about a dozen Hulks I left out for that purpose. But I figured why not do some of the ones I really want to go into detail with on a playlist and decide later on if I just want to do a bunch of them on a rundown. So here we are. So now in the older issue, there's a different version of Kluh who's like a genetically altered version of the Hulk created by Xemnu. But I figured the one you guys are referring to is the hulked out version of Hulk. And so this one came about in the Avengers X-Men Axis event. And at this point, the Avengers had taken Red Skull as a prisoner. And they made the group decision the only way to really stop him as a threat was to kill him. So most everybody was on board with this decision except for Jarvis, who protested by standing in front of the Red Skull's containment cell. And at the same time, this is Jarvis, so like what is he really going to do up against the Avengers? But still, standing up and voicing how he felt about the situation brought forth the conflict that Hulk was having inside with consciously taking another man's life. And that's when Hulk stepped up like, hey, we can't do this. We're the Avengers. Under no circumstances do we kill people. And so now we already know that Banner turns into the Hulk because of extreme anger. But the thing that we see here that makes Hulk into Kluh is that when Luke Cage punches Hulk, it makes him even sadder. Because not only is he dealing with the conflict of this Avengers team who he holds as his dear friends wanted to kill somebody, but on top of that, he's dealing with the fact that one of his friends swinging on him, which hurts emotionally more than it does physically. And so now I mentioned in a previous video when I was doing the spill of all the different Hulks, how depending on Banner's anger, you may get a gray Hulk, Joe Fix-It, or you may get a green Hulk. So now Kluh is just one example that goes to show us that there's a bracket of different Hulks within Banner. And just like how your Joe Fix-It and your green Hulk have different personalities, Kluh has a whole different personality and agenda of his own. He's just a rarer manifestation because he doesn't derive directly from Banner. Kluh, being quote unquote the Hulk's Hulk, will only manifest once you already have a Hulk to begin with. Like if Banner gets sad or depressed, he's just sad or depressed. And that's why when Kluh is talking about a lot of stuff, he mentions that he's been watching you guys for a while. Not like you watching the video, but talking about the Avengers. But he says that because it's very rare that he gets the opportunity to come out. But while he's in there like many other Hulks, he's seeing and observing different things, but waiting for the right moment to Hulk out and come to the surface. And that first time that we really see him surface in that Axis event, like that's the vibe that you really get from him. You could tell that he's usually not at the wheel, but now that he is, it's like he's just going ham. Now for those of you who wanted to know what Kluh really means, now in the Hebrew it actually means, I'm just playing, it's just Hulk spelled backwards, man, that's it. It's really nothing deep. And although some of you might be like, Kluh, duh, I've seen comments after suggestions of people who really just didn't know that. And I ain't go front, first time I read it, I didn't really catch it either, so don't feel bad. But while Kluh's going on his rampage, he's telling everybody that's watching to send me a contender, send me somebody to fight. And Sam Alexander or Nova is the first one on site to respond. And really he's on his own because with everything going on with the Axis event, you got the Avengers, Apocalypse, X-Men, everybody, they're all preoccupied elsewhere. Because also as soon as Hulk leaves the Avengers, Apocalypse shows up. And they also want Red Skull, who at this point escaped already, but since he's depowered now, he knows he's not a threat. But more important to Apocalypse at this particular time where Hulk's going crazy, he's telling Sam Wilson, who's Captain America, that he's taking Manhattan. And he wants him to announce that he's giving a limited time to anybody who's human to evacuate the city of Manhattan, or else they'll be executed on sight. And that plot is really one that plays out in the Axis series, which is only like 9 issues I believe, but it's non-stop action like the whole way through. And a good portion of it is like all your Avengers and all your X-Men going against Red Skull, who took Charles Xavier's brain and was using it to try to start war between the humans and the mutants. But yeah, it's a whole lot of craziness, and that's definitely a whole nother video's worth of talk. But if y'all want to dig deeper into that, you already know, hit me in the comments. But back to Kluh, with everything that has to happen for him to actually Hulk out and manifest himself, it's been only like 5 or 6 issues that he's actually appeared in. It's like 3 or 4 issues where he shows up in the Axis series, and then there's like another 2 in Nova. And he may have appeared in another Avengers X-Men comic that kind of tied into it, I can't really remember. But what I would really like to see so we can get some more Kluh who looks badass is an issue where we can get like Doctor Strange separating Kluh from the Hulk. And this way, so many stars wouldn't have to align for Kluh to come out. He would just be his own character and just pop up in whatever storyline. And it's not really that far-fetched when you think about it, because we've seen very similar events occur when Banner was Sorcerer Supreme and he separated the Hulk from himself, which is how we got the Infernal Hulk. And granted, it was Earth 11638, but still, if each Earth designation did this at least one time, it would give you like an infinite number of different Hulks that could stand alone. Because from the little bit that we've seen from Kluh, I feel like it can really contribute to some interesting storylines. And I'm not saying to give him his own series or anything like that, but I'm just saying I would like to see some of these ideas executed so we can get more of the character. And that can even be like a testing ground, so if that goes well, then give him his own series. Because really, out of all of his few appearances, Nova's the only person we've seen him go toe-to-toe with. As far as like just one-on-one and not like a mass event happening. And I don't say that to discredit Nova in no kind of way, because he ain't no chump, but at the same time, he's really not strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Kluh. I mean, he nearly got eaten for crying out loud. And even though he was faster and he was able to outsmart him and get out of that one, Like, he barely got out with his life. Like, one more hit from Kluh, it would have been a wrap. And also, like, with more appearances and more issues, we would also get to see a full battle between him and Apocalypse. Like, what would that turn to? Or him versus Sentry or Scar or one of the Green Hulks. Because it's really not made clear anywhere if his strength is capped as soon as he turns into Kluh, or is he able to get stronger like Green Hulk when he gets angrier and gets stronger. Because with the little bit that we do know about him, the rest is just left to speculation. And when Nova did defeat him, it was more like a temporary answer. Because when Kluh was going on his rampage, he tore down a bridge in Arizona, and Nova used that broken bridge cable to tie all around him and wrap him up and fly him into space. Which is pretty much what every hero does when they can't beat somebody up and they can't contain him nowhere. They just throw him into space. Like, whose cruel idea was that? But hey, I can't knock it because it worked. But let me know in the comments, you guys, what you think about Kluh as a character. He is one of your more intelligent Hulks to where he can form sentences and everything, but he's not like a super genius by any means. But do let me know what you guys think as far as his strength and his limitations, because we do see initially that he's supposed to be stronger than the current state that the Hulk is in. But after that, we don't know if it gets stronger or if it just stays where it's at. My assumption is that it would stay where it's at. And that's mainly because I just don't see there being a Hulk that just feeds off of sadness and depression and uses that to get stronger and stronger. I just don't see that happening. Which is another reason why I feel like they should separate the character, because you don't only want him to pop up whenever Hulk's sad and depressed, man. It's like, dang, this is a damper already. Now you here? But either way, hit me up in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the character as far as where he's at right now and also where you hope for them to take him in the future. And last but not least, if you're one of the few that just don't like the character, and it's okay if you feel that way, you're not weird, but feel free to share your thoughts as well too. I want to hear everybody's opinion. But before I head out, I also want to give a shout out to the latest patrons for the page, and these guys are helping the wheels turn behind the scenes. And that's Asmi Kandalev, Devin Robinson, and Kevin Kelly. And Asmi, I hope I'm saying your name right. But those guys I always want to give a shout out because their contributions, big and small, really help in a huge way. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video, and I'll put up a link for my 30+ Hulks video that I did a few weeks back. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. And if there's a Hulk in that video that you want me to elaborate on more, just leave it under the comments on that video, and there's a good chance you can see them in the future in another video on this channel. But that's it for this one, guys. I'll catch you on the next spill. Alright, later.